Well, this is our first annual Engineering Job Shadow Luncheon, and what we've done is we've recruited students from Beaumont and Port Arthur ISD, and they're sophomores and juniors that are excelling in math and science. The students that may not know about engineering, and we've brought them all here today. We've seated them at tables with engineers from local companies, and they're being able to work on some small table projects, see demonstrations, and then they heard a presentation from the Lamar College of Engineering that opened up their options at the different engineering fields that are available to them, what Lamar has to offer, to try and keep our kids here at home where they can grow and prosper here when we need them the most.
So today we got some high schoolers over and we showed them various things, simple things in engineering, but things that would help them see how exciting engineering would be. And industries that they haven't really gotten into because they're high schoolers. So Mr. Peavy, he spoke about our departments: industrial, chemical, mechanical, electrical, and civil. And then after that we had lunch.
Well, today was really fun, and we got to learn more about engineering and what an engineer actually does and some of the types and things like that.
What I hope is the kids, they get an understanding that engineering isn't just putting pipes together or math. It actually has to do with global applications, and it's around us every day. From the TVs we watch, the cars we drive, to even the chemicals we use to clean the house. Those are all different types of products made by engineers. From the space shuttle to the bicycle, everything's really been invented by engineers.
Beaumont has a lot to offer them, and engineering is a position that's always in great need here in Southeast Texas, as well as around the world. Engineering profession travels all over the world, so there's so many opportunities that are open for them. They just keep their minds open to the potential so that they can strive to be the best that they can be.
Well, I want to take what the engineers told me and hopefully apply to a competition coming up pretty soon and hopefully win.
We got people to learn about what more engineers do and like what they do in the field instead of just like what they think they do.
It helped me learn about the experiences of these other people, about their hazards and other things, the problem solving that you got to know.
Watching the kids interact with the engineers that are at their tables and their table activities made things come into focus for them. So I'm very, very pleased with the turnout. The engineers that were here to help the kids, and the kids' enthusiasm and how well they were behaved. The questions that they had were just great. So overall, I think it was a tremendous success.
In your last engineering position, what were some things that you spent the most time on, and how much time did you spend on each?
At the last job I worked at, we designed high voltage transmission towers and probably spent at least 50 to 70% of your time doing that. But the really fun thing was that the tower would get tested. They would build a full-scale model of it, and we'd fly to Brazil and get to watch it being tested, and they would load it to failure. You know, most of the time you get to watch it just crumble and fall to the ground. So that's pretty fun.
Describe a time when you confronted a problem that really tested your engineering know-how.
So I work in plastics plant for ExxonMobil, and one of the things that we don't really cover a lot in school is solid transfer line. So I had to, kind of teach myself all about it, get a hold of old papers that we have, or also pull on people who've been doing this for a long time. And so that's probably my biggest challenges in engineers. You're not going to see everything in school. There's some very specific stuff that's out there in the field, and you just have to be able to continue learning even as you're in the workforce.
Best part about when we did the little experiments, I like hands-on activities.
Yeah, we did a couple of experiments with cornstarch and water and the thing with the balloons to keep the balloon from, moving up or down.
We did experiments. The first experiment we performed was two balloons. One balloon had confetti on the bottom, the other had water. And we lit them, well, not lit them, but had lighters underneath. With that, it was an experiment to see which one would basically explode first. And the funny thing was we had two students underneath. So if the one with the water would explode first, the kid would have got drenched. Confetti, not so much. Obviously the confetti exploded first and the water one didn't, and it was to show them how that the air would expand quicker than the water. So that was basically a heat transfer experiment, and it has to do with engineering. And actually, I'm taking a class right now that has to do with heat transfer. The second experiment was to do with a pan of water filled about halfway up, and inside of there we had we would fill it up with cornstarch. It would show the chemical properties of how different things can change phase. What happened is once we filled it up with enough cornstarch, you would try to hit the liquid and it would actually stiffen up, like almost like armor. But if you slowly put your finger in, it would give way and you can put your fingers in it. And that was showing more so on the chemical side of things how molecules shift in terms of energy impact. The last experiment we did, the last experiment we did, there was one I missed. We did an experiment with Mentos and I think it was Diet Coke. And it showed how when we put Diet Coke, which has carbon forced in it, that's where you get the term carbonated beverage from for sodas. There's carbon forced in it, so it's almost like a potential energy. It has energy already inside of it. And Mentos act as a catalyst, basically bringing out that energy. So the carbon that's already forced inside of the soda, it would form on the rough surface of the Mentos, which is actually really rough. If you look under a microscope, it's not smooth, which we see as smooth, but closer down it's rough, almost like a mountain range. And so it would actually encourage the bubbles to form on the Mentos, and the bubbles would then escape out the top, causing an eruption, almost like a volcano, on the top of the soda.
We hope to do bigger and better every year. This was our first annual event, so next year we look forward to being able to open it to different school districts as well as industry participation in a larger scale.
They did a really great job, and I hope we can do this again next year.